Athletes, gonna do a little bit of a different pace today on today's video. I want to talk a little bit about something that's been in the news a lot lately, something that you've seen and probably heard of, and everyone's going to be set up in a camp during this discussion, either pro or against. I'll tell you right now, Coach Blue, he's neutral. I don't do either of these things, so it's not a big deal to me, but I want to give a little bit of information and get the dialogue going because there's a scary thing happening right now in the trend of vaping. So if you've been anywhere in the recovery community, you'll know that vaping's a pretty big deal. I mean, you got tobacco smokers, you've got the vapors, all that kind of stuff going on. And you set yourself up in each camp. But there's been a lot of news lately about illness and about is it good for you? And really, is it good for you? Well, no. Smoking anything is not good for you. But which is worse, which is better? To me, again, my own personal point of view, they're both not good for you. But I want to talk a little bit about the topic that's been asked of me for quite a while, which is what's causing it? What's this sickness, this illness, this lung disease that doctors are now finding? A couple months ago, we started hearing about people being hospitalized for respiratory issues and lung problems, breathing problems. And they've done some research and some trailblazing to find out what's causing it. And yeah, there is a lot that's looking like it's linked to a CBD oil that's being used and vaped that's kind of sticking to the lungs and causing infection. I mean, you're bringing in water vapor into your lungs. That's kind of the same thing that happens when you do too much of it for the same factors of pneumonia. But there's been a huge spike and a big increase lately, and some of which the research I've done have not found that THC has been present or CBD present in their blood. So what's causing that? Well, the problem is that it's still super new. There's not a lot of research that's going on right now, and so all of this stuff happened so fast and the market got flooded so quick that they really haven't been able to do as many clinical trials. So I mean, we're still early in on this process, but if you remember from any kind of history or anything, they didn't know about the effects and the harmfulness of smoking until later on too. So this is still brand new evidence, but this is a big topic and a lot of people want to know, well, do I use it to quit smoking? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, vaping was designed to be that step down process to the point where you could eliminate it altogether. But then of course the industry got flooded. Everyone out there, all these adults have this thing called the yum yum gene where they've got to have this tasty stuff and they start making these candy flavors and it inundates the youth and it smells really good and all that stuff. Well, the problem is that now you don't regulate the amount of nicotine intake, meaning you're going to vape more frequently than you would smoke a cigarette because smoking, they've made it kind of impossible these days, right? No smoking indoors, no smoking on airplanes, no smoking in restaurants. Remember back when we were kids, there was a smoking and non-smoking section at every restaurant you went to? They don't have that anymore. And so being a smoker is fairly inconvenient. So when vaping came out, everyone wanted to jump on the board and bandwagon of it because it was pretty acceptable. And so as we're using it more and more, you become addicted to it heavier and heavier. So you see people that are being a lot more cavalier with their vaping, right as they walk out of a door instead of being 25 feet away, maybe even vaping in their car with their kids, which I've seen. And all of those things. Now again, I'm not setting up a camp if it's right or if it's wrong. I don't do either, so I have zero stock in the game. But there is some stuff that we still don't know about vaping and what it really does. So I get it. It tastes good. It helps you quit smoking. It's like better than a cigarette, a tobacco product. We know that you're going to get cancer and emphysema eventually if you keep doing it. But more young kids are starting to vape now than ever, which is kind of a problem in the big picture. It's a huge downside. But again, it's getting all over the news because people are now dying. And I've read reports about this on the internet, doctors who have been putting in some reports who have seen death from people who have been vaping. But again, they don't know what's really going on. It is kind of connected to the CBD oil, but they don't know if it's a problem with the oil itself or the marijuana derivative. But the bottom line that I'm reading about why it's bad is they just don't know what the actual problem is. So there's a big regulatory push behind all of these products, and I know that makes a little bit of anger kind of come to the surface because again, it's these things that are inflicting and infringing on your rights. But how long is it going to take to really determine if vaping is going to hurt you or not? Because there have been people that have been vaping since it first came out. I think to each his own. Not everyone that smokes cigarettes got cancer and died. I know old people that smoked and they still look pretty healthy, which is a little bizarre. The best way to do this is to don't start if you haven't and quit if you're using. I know it's hard, and tobacco nicotine is one of the hardest things to quit. but it really can potentially injure you. So there's a call of action, right? Share this. If you vaped, if you've quit, please tell people how you've done it. And stay away from the CBD oil. So stop listening to the bros or, what's influential online or whatever. Go for yourself. Is this something you really want to be spending money on? Maybe Coach Blue's an old guy here. I don't know. Look at me. But I think it's time to really put that stuff away and not even worry about the side effects because it won't really have affected you. So I know it's difficult. There's a lot of new stuff happening. There's a lot of research that has to happen. But how about we work together on getting you the help, the assistance, the support to quit it all together. And then maybe we can kind of rediscuss this at a later time when they've discovered what is the cause of some of these illnesses. Again, I'm not in either camp. I just know what I've read, and I want to deliver this to you so that you're more informed. Again, it's about personal choice. You get to do all this on your own. Personal choice is something I am a fan of. I would never tell you not to. I would never tell you to do it. But make that decision for yourself and turn that mess into a message.